and really clothing ourselves with dignity. And then black churches kept it going on as well. And so that's how I found out about freedom schools initially. I mean, I learned about it a little bit at while I was at Morehouse and Martin Spellman, because remember Edmund went to Spellman, and we
Oh,
learned about freedom schools and Children's Defense Fund and all the great work they was doing to make sure that all kids were given access to books and literacy. And also the way freedom schools is comprised is that every week there's a theme, right? And the theme is I can make a difference, and then in my community, I can make a difference in my family, I can make a difference in my work, I can make a difference with my friends and my neighbors, right? So every week there's also another theme. This is where it becomes so good that it's another theme that gives you dignity. But then we begin every song of Freedom Schools with Harambe, which is like African like chants and songs, right? And so we sing songs about like why reading is good, how I am somebody, how one of the songs they sing is something inside so strong, right? Like
mm,
it's empowering to our kids. And so we do it
wow.
in churches, we do it in Children's Defense Fund, and it's important because if you do not know your history, if you do not see people in books that you're reading that look like you, then your imagination or your of possibility is shrunken, and you don't see where you can be in the future. You don't understand that people who look like you have done amazing things, and you too can do amazing things as well.
Not only that, it gives us like a whitewashed I ideal with an L,
Yeah.
um, identity, like we're striving to be things that are outside of us. Our imagination is only, it's kind of limited to what we can and cannot be. And as I think about it, yeah, that's not a concept that is far away. Um, I'm trying to think, how old was I when I saw a black Santa or the
Mm.
idea of a black Jesus? And
Mm-hmm.
so, um, though it is mind boggling to think that a concept for a freedom school would be relevant today, um, yeah, I can definitely see like how the roots in that may take form and why.
Yeah.
Yeah, because empowerment is everything for us.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that we have to bring up issues of dignity
Mm-hmm.
even still in
Yeah.
2025.
Absolutely. We have to clothe ourselves uh, in dignity. And I mean, I have the honor through my CDC Partnership for Growth LA and through the leadership of Cassandra Chase at my org to lead Freedom Schools in Los Angeles. So we run Freedom Schools during the summer, and we also do it after school with schools that, you know, invite us to come in, and we figure out, a good equitable price so we can bring staff in to do tutoring. But also Community Coalition does it as well in Los Angeles Girls Club. So like the three of us are the main providers of Freedom Schools in the Los Angeles area.
So I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the concept of freedom school in 2025, where education is free and is accessible. So is the main focus of a freedom school today, like the programs that you offer, is this like a concentration on black history? So yeah.
So yeah, so all the books that we read. This is a great question. So for instance, let's take we did Freedom Schools in Inglewood. Inglewood is still in receivership by the state of California. They invited us in. Tony Thurman, the over education for the state, invited us into Inglewood because they were noticing a couple of things. There was high absenteeism. There was high those lower reading rates, and the success rates weren't going as great. So we came in and we did Freedom Schools after school. What that means is that we brought our whole program. We brought the chants, but then we also every student gets one-on-one time. We do a 1 to 10, one teacher to 10 students ratio,
Hmm.
and we read books that are all culturally competent books, culturally relevant books. So everyone in the book is either black or brown or um, Yeah, mainly black and brown in our books that we read. Okay, so
You're like, yeah, and period.
And they're telling those stories, and then we also do tutoring. What we realized, what happened in Inglewood at the schools we were at, was that, and then another part of this is parent engagement. We do have one of our staff members does parent engagement, and she works with parents to figure out like how to coach your.
So parents are a very important
Absolutely.
piece to this too. Most of them probably being educated. So we're gonna just we're gonna hold that thought for just 1 second. We're gonna pause for some news and information, and then when we come forward, we're going to pick up this conversation. But I want to talk a little bit about the issue of erasure when we
Yeah.
come forward on the First Things First.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A candlelight vigil was held in Charlotte, North Carolina, in honor of the Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska, who was stabbed to death on a light rail last month. Reverend James Bauer said, "Enough is enough."
And so we will not stand by anymore. We will fight for our city.
Police say the attack was random. DeCarlo Brown is charged with her murder and remains in custody. The Weeknd has dropped out of Global Citizen Festival in Central Park due to personal reasons. Cardi B will take his place Saturday, joining Shakira, Tyla, Mariah the Scientist, and more. And DC Mayor Muriel Bowser wants the city to host the 2031 Super Bowl. She says the new Commander Stadium, opening in 2030, and hosting the NFL Draft in 2027 makes it possible and key to boosting the local economy. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers will have trouble getting past the first round of the playoffs if their bullpen doesn't perform better. Shohei Ohtani had 8 strikeouts and a 4-0 lead after going 6 innings last night at Arizona. The Dodgers ended up losing 5-4. Arizona scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th off reliever Tanner Scott. It was Scott's 10th blown save this season, highest in the major leagues. Ohtani has not given up a run in each of his last 3 starts, but the Dodgers have lost each game. The Dodgers are going to need their relievers to step up to win another World Series championship. Top 5 college football teams in this week's HBCU Top 25 poll: Jackson State, Alabama State, North Carolina Central, South Carolina State, and Alabama A&M. 2-1 Jackson State is the only HBCU team ranked in this week's NCAA Division I AA poll. Jackson State, ranked number 17, is at Southern University on Saturday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is your loved one at the hospital or in a nursing home? Have they developed bed sores, fallen, or worse? These are things your family members should be protected from. Bed sores, falls, and dehydration are almost always the result of negligent care. If this has happened to your loved one, call Zorin at Basic Law Group at 800-215-1234 or visit basiclawgroup.com. The consultation is free, and if they don't win, you don't pay. That's 800-215-1234.
Hey, I am D.L. Hughley, host of the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show, heard weekdays from 2 to 4 exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. I promise to make you think a little, but laugh a whole lot more. So tune in to the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show 2 to 4 only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Be heard. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome forward again. This is First Things First with Dominique DePrima. I am Dr. Sunshine, sitting in her stead this morning, joined by Pastor Eddie of McCarty Memorial Church, the historical McCarty Church. And we're in a deep dive about Freedom Schools. And you were talking about parents just before the break, and their involvement.
Yeah, so it's we have parent involvement. That's how we make it. It's free to the parent, not to the school, but free to the parent to be involved. And this is what we saw. I mean, I'll just read to you some stats from that we have from our program.
Oh, stats! So we get some facts.
I give you
popping.
some facts.
Okay.
So at the schools we were at, the English language art scores increased from 5.5% to 20% because of Freedom Schools.
But here in LA?
In LA.
Is this the Inglewood?
Inglewood.
Oh,
in Inglewood. Wow. In Inglewood, we saw that severe chronically absenteeism would drop from 47% to 5%. And then we saw the reading levels of the children that we had in Freedom Schools who were reading with us, tutoring with us, getting empowered by us in this program, go up by 3 to 4 grade levels.
What? So let me ask you, is this what's happening? So Freedom Schools in LA, Inglewood, the ones that you and your partners are involved in, these schools are outside or in addition to public schools?
No, these are public schools in Inglewood that we came to and helped them. They were the ones who needed the most help.
So you came in and kind of
moved it up through Freedom, using the methods of Freedom Schools to do it. And then we do the same thing over the summer. And over the summer, we see 3 to 6 grade levels increase over the summer. And so we have young people who come to Freedom School at the beginning, and they may not be reading at their grade level, which is important, right? Because we know that they build prisons based upon your third grade reading level, right? And so we want to make sure that by the time you're in third grade, if you are ahead of the curve, so that you can also be empowered for success in your community. And so we have stories. I mean, I'll tell you one story of a young woman who came to Freedom Schools about 10 years ago. She was a student, and then we hired her to be a servant leader intern. And then that young lady went on, became like kid mayor of her city, went to school, and now she's serving as like a chief of staff at State House. Another young person went through our program, and because of that, is now got his PhD and is an educator. Right? You get empowered about who you are, where you are, and we send you home with books. We send you home with a library, as well.
So you said something. I kind of you said it and you kind of brushed over it, but I think it's really important too. So prisons are built on, you said
third grade reading level.
The third grade reading level. What exactly does that mean? So we know about the school to prison pipeline, but what is that third grade reading level? How does that tie into the penal system?
Right. So basically, they are typecasting us, right, and pathologizing us. So what they do, they look at the third grade reading levels, and statistics say that if there are a certain percentage of kids in your neighborhood, in your zip code, or in your area code or city that are below it, they assume that they will be illiterate or that they have problems behaving.
If they're below it,
the third grade reading level.
If
you're in third grade and you're reading on a first grade reading level, if you're in third grade and you're reading on a second grade reading level, if you're in third grade and you're not quite proficient enough, then they assume that person will have chronic behavior problems in the future.
Oh, so
we should build prisons to make sure they can get locked up because they will be a nuisance to society.
Okay, so we're predicting behavior that is tied into your academic success in or by third grade.
Yeah.
So if we take a look at the percentage of students who are thriving in third grade, that tells us, or not, that tells us what the prison is.
That's how they've tried
that
to do
they've
the numbers.
tried to
make
kind
correlation, do a correlation.
The correlation between third grade education and prison. That is something I did not know. I think it's extremely fascinating. I'm going to have to sit on that for a while. It may come back up later. But so we often hear about history being erased or rewritten in classrooms. So from your perspective, how is this showing up in real time for young people?
Yeah.
And specifically in California, because we hear about how it's going down in Florida. How is it going down in California?
Yeah, I'll use one of the examples reason why I thought freedom schools, especially in LA, when I first moved to Los Angeles over 13 years ago, my little cousin came to me. He knew I went to Morehouse, went to CU, and he said, "Can you teach me Black history?" And I said, "What do you mean?"
And he got this from the fact that you went to an HBCU?
Yeah, he knew I'm from Atlanta, went to HBCU. He said, "Can you teach me Black history, cousin?" And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because they don't teach me that in school." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "We don't read any books about what Black people or brown people have achieved. We gloss over it in school." And so when I talk to even young people today, or kids who go to who attend my church, I had a young parishioner, a young man. He's a kid. He's in like third and fourth grade, and he said, "Pastor, I'm dark skinned. And I don't know if I like my skin color because everyone at school talks about it and it's not in the books." When you read about how our kids at LAUSD, some of them are being called the N-word or being pushed to the side today, it's because we are not teaching not only Black history, but we're not talking about culturally relevant achievements. We act like that California has gone through. We believe that California is a bastion of progressive politics and liberal politics, but it's not in our school systems. Our school systems are not quote unquote empowering places. Now they're trying. I want to give credit that we have the Black Student Achievement Program, which is focusing in on Black students and trying to raise those levels. That we have great educators who are doing the best they can, but they're also limited by your curriculums. This is why it's important, right? When they're trying to teach, for instance, that slavery. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
Was an economic plan, and it really wasn't that bad. I saw a video the other day.
It really wasn't that bad.
I saw a video the other day of a kid's video, like a PBS type video. It wasn't on PBS, but like one of those kind of videos on YouTube, where Christopher Columbus is like, "Oh, they're just going to have to work a little bit harder, but they like it," kind of stuff.
So I've been hearing this lately, that they like it.
Yeah.
I've been hearing this lately.
Absolutely. And it's like, no, that's not what actually is occurring. That's not what happened. And if you
It's
don't,
a form of erasure.
it's a form of erasure, but more, it's a form also of forced assimilation. I will say this.
Forced assimilation.
Carter G. Woodson, when he wrote everyone knows him as the founder of Black History Week and Month. Carter G. Woodson, when he wrote The Miseducation of the Negro, he has this quote that sticks with me, and he says that if you can convince a man that he is less than a man and that he does not have dignity, you won't have to tell him to go to the back door. He will ask for the back door.
That's true.
And if the back door is not there, he will create one to go in because he already believes he is less than. Here's what happens. We are forming our children, and we tell them in the books, hey, you deserve this. This is what it was like. You enjoyed it. You grow up believing that is the case. Your parents can reinforce all the time that you are black and beautiful and you are bold. But if you are not seeing it, then you think that the streets is the life for you. You think that I shouldn't even be unionized if I'm on a job that is causing me for when I'm doing labor. You think that, going to college is for those other folks. Or you think that I can't create my own business. Or you think that I don't deserve to be on platforms and speak and be educated and well-read. I could just pontificate without reading and knowing what's going on around me. That's how they want you to create. So then misinformation becomes the rule of the day, right?
And factual. The misinformation, the miseducation becomes fact.
And critical thinking becomes lacking.
Yes, exactly. So let me ask you this. In this time of quote unquote woke culture, and I'm good with woke culture because that is a term that came from us. It seems like as much as you try to break down Black pride, it's just difficult to penetrate. Now you may get, some tinks around the edges here or there, but it feels like a movement right now. And maybe it did in the 60s too, I don't know. But for me, it feels like a movement right now. And the more that we're pushing forward, our country forward, our people forward, we have radio stations like KBLA where we're unapologetically progressive. We won't black down. So the more we're empowering ourselves with Black pride, it feels like there is a scramble on the other side to do everything possible.
Oh, yeah.
To get, and my question is always, if it wasn't so bad, then magic question is, would you trade places with me?
Yeah, the answer is no, absolutely not.
Would you trade places with me?
Yeah, I mean, there used to be, I think I read this in a book where they said the worst you could do is be black, right? White people rather be poor and white than black and rich, because if you're poor and white,
I just recently talked about this.
You still have white privilege in order to move through the world. And here's the thing, I mean, it's not like, people talk about DEI and all these things. Listen, what Freedom Schools posits for all of us is that educated people is an empowered people, and an empowered people is the people that continue to move evolution of our society forward.
Mm-hmm. How do you engage? How do you propose that we engage young people that may feel disconnected or that may feel skeptical about history education, or even as it pertains to church spaces?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we live so much in a instant gratification culture. We live in a Instagram stroll. I got 15 seconds.
Now.
Keep it moving.
I want my money. I want it now.
But I think reading creates discipline. And I invite young people, especially with Freedom Schools, we make it fun. So like we make reading fun. The songs that we do, we remix the song. So like when Kendrick and everyone was singing They Not Like Us, we created a whole video for Freedom Schools about they don't read like us, right? You know, right? To make it relevant, because you are writing your own story. But if you're writing your own story with no context, then you are writing your story in a vacuum, and it would be easy to be taken from you. And so, what you are teaching is really the values around humility, values around pride, values around service, values around leadership, and that those things stick with you, and that there are many stories, many vistas that move us forward. And I think that's what we are doing. I mean, one of the first things that, talk about church, one of the first places that we find Jesus active in his ministry was that he was in a synagogue teaching.
Sitting with the teachers.
Sitting with the teachers and having discussions. He was educated enough to have a conversation about what's going on in the world.
Yeah. So what do you think the roles of parents, churches, communities, like at large play? As a matter of fact, that's going to be the question that I would like to open up the conversation with. We're going to pause, but when we open up the conversation, I want to talk about what our roles are at large. And we'll do that when we come forward. Hang with us.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
So many things, big and little, make you uniquely you. Your hobbies, dreams, career, family, and more. Addiction to drugs, including opioids and stimulants, can strip these away from you. Recover your life. Choose treatment for drug addiction and get back to what matters most. Find a provider and proven treatment option that's right for you at ChooseChangeCA.org. Recover you.
Is your loved one at the hospital or in a nursing home? Have they developed bed sores, fallen, or worse? These are things your family members should be protected from. Bed sores, falls, and dehydration are almost always the result of negligent care. If this has happened to your loved one, call Zoran at Basic Law Group at 800-215-1234 or visit basiclawgroup.com. The consultation is free, and if they don't win, you don't pay. That's 800-215-1234.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Be heard. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you so much for rolling with us this morning. As the conversation is rolling right along, we're talking about freedom schools, and it's really unfortunate that we have to have these types of spirited conversations in 2025 around specifically our young Black people and the quality of education. I feel like, am I in 2025 or 1925 or 1825? I'm not sure. I feel like I'm in some kind of a time capsule that I should be having this conversation at this time. But it's the country and it's the day that we live in. So I appreciate you coming out to share your perspective and the work that you're doing in Freedom Schools, Pastor Eddie. But to pick up where we left off, so what role do you believe that parents, churches, and just the community at large play in the support and the efforts that you're making in these Freedom Schools?
Yeah, I mean, it really is rooted in the notion that it takes a village. And so every parent, it starts with you, but you're not doing this alone. Like, your children's education belongs to all of us. So it's the pastors and the Sunday school teachers who are continuing literacy and telling stories and teaching you about your education. For many people, your church is where you learn about your culture. For many folks.
And you know what? That's historical.
That's historical.
That's historical. When you think about it, let's take the Civil Rights Movement, which was an important time in our history, right? Everything was happening. The church was the emphasis of everything. It was the center of all that we were doing, including and most importantly, education.
Absolutely. And it's what brought us forward. If you talk about any HBCU, Historical Black College University, most of them were founded in the basement of churches for a reason. And we were talking about how do we make sure that in this time period that we're living in, where the Department of Education is being defunded, where we had to force the government to actually put the $600 million that they took away from education back into the budget this year. We're talking about how they're trying to rewrite what our stories are, and with our elders are here in living memory. I would say if you're with your grandparents, tell them to write down their story. If you are with
just older people in general.
Yeah, have them write down their story. Tell me how it was for you and how it is for me as well. If you're young, don't just stop at the Instagram. If you see something on Instagram, go look it up. There's a book about that. There's an article that you can read about that, so you can learn more about what's going on around you. People who do not know their story, people who do not know their history, is the people that can be easily enslaved, the people that can be easily misinformed. It can be people that is led astray. And so in this season, right, where we have, talk about the church, one of the biggest issues, and I just, I'm not going to, but white Christian nationalism is one of the biggest threats to American society today.
Absolutely.
And it's because we don't have the literacy. Most people have not actually read the stories for themselves. Most people don't actually know the history of how we got that corner store on the side of the street, how we got our own banks and businesses, how we were able to develop our communities because we don't read the books.
So when you say history, though, because you just tapped on something, when you say history, you're not even, what you just talked, it's not even a deep dive into history. No. It's like we don't know the history that's surrounding us in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we think that it has to be this way. We're almost done with the time, but for instance, if you're in Los Angeles, and if the only thing you know about history is Tom Bradley, or you don't know about who the people who came here and that California was really a slave state and a lot of fugitives in this state.
Yeah, that's shocking.
If you didn't know that, then you think this is how it's supposed to be. If you don't know and read the history books and learn that in Leimert Park, Leimert Park was a white neighborhood that black folks moved into and built our own grocery stores and built our own businesses and parks, then you think that the neighborhood is supposed to be like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So you have to read the books to understand where you're going.
It's literally one of those things where if you don't know, then you don't know.
Yeah.
So we would be completely remiss. How can I get my child involved in a freedom school.
So over the summer, we invite folks to get involved in Freedom School. My organization, Partnership for Growth LA, has a Freedom School. Community Coalition has a Freedom School. Girls Club LA has a Freedom School. Look for the Children Defense Fund, and they can tell you where those Freedom Schools are located. And then during the year, our program, if you want our program in your school, get your PTA together, go talk to your principal, and then give us a call, and we'll figure out how to get Freedom Schools in your school.
Once again, we got to come together. We got to fight for our right to just have a good and solid education. I personally think that Freedom Schools should be in all schools.
Absolutely.
And we should be fighting to make sure that, you know, curriculum like the curriculum that you've been describing on our is found in all of our schools, and not just on the elementary school level, but throughout the educational, all the way around. Yeah. Exactly. So Eddie Anderson, Pastor Eddie Anderson, thank you so much for dropping in with me this morning, for starting the day off with me this morning. I don't take it lightly or for granted, so definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Peace and blessings.
Yes, peace and blessings. Stay with me, good people, right here, KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A candlelight vigil was held in Charlotte, North Carolina, in honor of the Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska, who was stabbed to death on a light rail last month. Reverend